Smart, True School for Entrepreneurs, a Santosh Nair enterprise.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
As you're aware, the Indian economy currently is at the onset of a massive paradigm shift with a vision of system cleansing. So, you being the transformational guru, we and the entrepreneurs would like to hear your opinion on this economical transformation called demonetization.
Well, this is not just demonetization. This is the cleansing up of a, a big disease that we've been having in this country. And we are all suffering from a disease called hamartia. Hamartia is nothing but a fatal flaw in us. Today we have, and all Indians put together have started believing that corruption is a way of life. You go to a municipal office, you go to a ration office, you go to get a permission for road, or you want to construct a building. Today it is an accepted norm that corruption is a part and parcel of our life, which means we have now equated life to corruption. We have equated life to believing that municipal officers are expected to ask and we are bound to give the kind of thing. I buy a home, I want to pay stamp duty. Even to pay my own stamp duty, I have to pay something to the man out there in the office. So that is very ridiculous. But what has happened is, it has, this whole thing started, I believe, way back in the 69 to 70s onwards. After probably Lal Bahadur Shastri died as the Prime Minister of our country. We got freedom in 1947, after fighting for it for decades and decades, for 100 years, and several freedom fighters fought for the freedom of India. So what we got was the freedom to speak, the freedom of expression, the freedom to do many things. However, we, over a period of 20 years, that is 47 to 67, we could somehow hold it because we had some great leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru, Lal Bahadur Shastri and things like that. I believe the deterioration happened during Indira Gandhi's time. I believe also the deterioration happened because we were a nation which did not have enough of food to eat. We did not have enough of anything, no cars, no bikes, no telephone, no infrastructure, nothing. We were not a self-sufficient nation. And so everything was rationed, everything was licensed. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't produce cement beyond this much, you can't produce car. So because of this license Raj, in order to escape the roots during those days, the industrialists of those time and the people who were there in the bureaucracy collided together to create an environment of give and take. This probably started in a small way, but ended up in the bloodline. So any child who was born in 2000 and who is now today 16 years old believes from the very beginning of his life that this is a corrupt country and we have to be a part and parcel of this corruption. Today everybody believes that we must give something to the traffic police if he catches us, and we as Indians have lost the spine to fight the system. And in history, when अत्याचार या पाप एक हद से बढ़ जाता है, there emerges a leader who transforms. Like if girls were not educated for hundreds of years, came Mahatma Jyotiba Phule and things changed. If achoots or untouchability as a concept prevailed in India for hundreds and thousands of years, where these untouchable people, these Dalits and all, had to carry a bowl under their neck to spit and to tie a broom behind them as they walk. If that was there, one man was very disturbed. His name was Baba Saheb Ambedkar. So Baba Saheb Ambedkar transformed the movement and gave the liberation to the Dalits. And suddenly they were treated as human beings. Mahatma Jyotiba Phule gave the rightful place to girls' education and things like that. Martin Luther King created the civil rights movement and the black court repeated because the separate toilets were black, There were separate places for black hotels to sit, buses and things like that. In every century, if you see whether it's the 17th century, the 18th century, the 19th century, 20th century and the 21st century, comes a man who transforms the world because of a thought process. In the last century we had Mahatma Gandhi, who came, transformed us, gave us the freedom. We squandered that freedom and put it on the streets, and we shit anywhere, we do anything anywhere, we extend our homes, we throw kachra everywhere. It's become a kind of a disease. And therefore, a leader had to emerge, either because of some kind of pressure or some kind of a breakdown in the system. I believe Narendra Modi, and I said this in The Power of Being Unreasonable CD many years ago. One of the CDs is The Power of Being Unreasonable. This CD I said, and I quote, and I said that he is a Vishwa-Rupi leader. He is not a leader of India. He is a leader of the world. So he is a Vishwa-Rupi leader. Now a Vishwa-Rupi leader went around all over the world trying to get all kinds of support. This Vishwa-Rupi leader also decided that we will ask people to open the bank accounts and things like that and bring the people into the banking system. He created an environment of Aadhaar card being linked to the bank account. He created a situation where income disclosure schemes were announced. He created a situation by now demonetizing, and I believe he will take a whole lot of measures. When he does that, what happens to this nation called India, that it will become a Vishwa nation. So a Vishwa-Rupi leader, a world leader, will create a world country. We will become a Vishwa nation, a nation of nation, a nation very powerful. If you see, India was called as Sone ki Chidiya 2000, 3000, 4000 years ago. The first university in the world came, Nalanda University came here. Ayurveda was discovered out here. A whole lot of things we were proud of. India was one of the most richest places in this world. The economic powers at that time, the British, which were a superpower once upon a time, came and looted a part of it. The French came, looted a part of Puducherry or Pondicherry or whatever. The Portuguese came and looted the Goa part of it. So the Mughals came because we were one of the biggest, which was the richest country in the world. So everybody was attracted and they looted us. Not only they looted us, over a period of time they took away our spirit. It is only during the in the early stages of 1992, after Manmohan Singh brought in the kind of liberalization along with Narasimha Rao, that Indians started to assert and create a mark for themselves. But one of the biggest stigmas that got remained in the minds and the heart of the entire world is that we are corrupt, we have corrupt officials, we have corrupt system, we are on the corruption list. Today also 78 on the 146 countries in the world. Now, somebody had to do the cleaning. Every political party, including the Congress, the Shiv Sena, the Manse, and everybody spoke about it. Arvind Kejriwal came with a promise, but could not sustain it for long. Anna Hazare came with a promise, but because of his age and his probably not having the kind of energy and background. So people thought that only staying outside of power you could do it, and so Anna and Arvind Kejriwal tried their best. Kejriwal realized that getting into the system and fight corruption, he got into the system, he's creating nonsense all over the world. So the middle route was a great leader called Narendra Modi. I believe the time has come for India and Indians to take part in this new freedom movement, the freedom from corruption. So you and I and every businessman should now create business out of honesty, and therefore honesty should be the way in which we should not give a single rupee bribe. And I was talking to somebody and said, लेकिन ये बदलने वाला नहीं है, 50 साल पुराना है. लेकिन if everybody is thinking है 50 साल पुराना है, and if you look at the political parties today, everybody is trying to derail this organization or this government from doing the hard steps. Indians want to see the transformation. They are all peacefully standing in the line. It is the politicians, and it is, I am also surprised in the way in which T.I.G.E.R, our Chief Justice, spoke about these lines will lead to riots. Why does he have to say such a stupid, idiotic thing? He must be the Chief Justice of India, but he spoke like a brainless man. When he said that if you don't control the situation, riots will break out. If it has not broken out in the last 10 days, why will... Now catching hold of that, there will be some elements who will create that kind of a situation. So my end-to-end thought process is, we now need to build businesses honestly. We need to pay our taxes on time. We need to do everything legal. Doing everything legal, you can still make a whole lot of money. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. Mind has been set. Every businessman today, who is doing the excise ki chori, sales tax ki chori, service tax ki chori, and all kinds of things, he's got into a mindset. That mindset has been created by the circumstances and the state of affairs around him. And the state of affairs that is there around him made the human being lose his soul. So we are soulless Indians, spineless Indians, Indians who don't have the guts that if they are caught by the traffic police to pay the money and take the pauti, spineless Indians who will do everything possible to probably save money and not pay taxes. It's become a mindset. This mindset is dangerous. It is very, very anarchical. It is not going to create a generation, a good generation. It will spoil the nasl of our next generation. It is already spoiled. Somebody had to do the correction. Demonetization is the first of the 100 other steps that will have to be taken in this particular country. And see, we are not a dictator. Most of the achievements in this whole world of greatness has been achieved under a kind of a semi-dictatorial thing. Look at Singapore. Singapore is the cleanest city in the world, the most easiest to do business, but there is a man called Lee Kuan Yew who ruled Singapore with an iron hand for 30 plus years. And because he institutionalized the fear of law, and ensured that Singaporeans adhered and came into the law, today we admire Singapore as one of the most wonderful places to do business. We can also reach that particular place. Our past President APJ Abdul Kalam wanted India to become a superpower by 2020. I have said in my recent communication that this step that has been taken will create difficulties for us for the next 3 to 4 years. I've said that a few days back in my CD. I maintain that it will take 3 to 4 years for us. Some bloody idiots have written that India has gone back by 3 years. So what if we have gone there? For a correction to happen, 2-3 steps behind will have to be taken. So if we have to become a corruption-free country, a kind of a country where the whole world respects, loves us, and is going to look at us as a role model organization which transformed itself from being a corrupt nation at 78 level to probably the 5th or the 4th best place in the world to be, then that price will have to be paid. So we all will have to pay the price, and today we are paying the price. We Indians are ready to pay the price. I am ready to pay the price. I am ready to talk about it to a number of people. This whole communication, which is very unlike of me, who doesn't speak on public subjects, I personally feel that each one of us has a responsibility to maintain peace and calm in this country. Each one of us has a moral and physical and mental and spiritual responsibility to become honest businessmen. Each one of us should not do anything wrong. We should not pay bribes, and we should take the Munna Bhai route or whichever route we can call it to cleanse the system. Indians are now being called upon. The political leadership of all the other parties, including BJP, there are many in BJP who may not be in favor of this whole thing. So once upon a time there was a Raja who would loot us, another time there was a Britishers who was looting us, and now it is the politicians. And now we got to stand up. We got to stand up, and if a Rahul Gandhi comes there, we should ensure that he is thrown out of that particular place. If there is anybody taking a political mileage of the whole thing, he should be told to get lost. I'll give you an example. In the state of Kerala, in a place called Munnar, where there's tea gardens, for hundreds of years, the workers out there have been exploited, and trade union leader after trade union leader after trade union leader came and promised the sky to all these workers, but gave them a raw deal for the last 100-200 years. Few months back, the workers took the whole thing into their control and decided to form their own stuff and said, we don't want any political leaders, we don't want CPM or UDF or whichever or Congress or anybody to be our leader. We can manage ourselves. We don't need a Rahul Gandhi. We don't need an Uddhav Thackeray. We don't need a Raj Thackeray. We don't need these kind of people. People who have dedicated their life for the nation and in their thoughts, words and deeds. If they are 24 hours fighting for the nation, and Narendra Modi's thoughts, words and deeds is 24 hours for the nation. Nobody can say that he is gallivanting, wasting his time, traveling around the world, wasting his energy and wasting his money and resources of this country. So here is a man who has the guts and the balls and the ability to probably transform, electrify and transhumanize a nation. We should all be a part of this whole thing. So the difficulty that we are facing right now is a very small difficulty. If Gandhi, which I equate right now Nehru, I'm saying Modi to Gandhi, now Gandhi will require Vallabhbhai Patel, Gandhi will require Sarojini Naidu, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, the Rajendra Prasad. Gandhi will require the best of freedom fighters. Can I be a freedom fighter for the economic and cleaning freedom? The Swachh Bharat. Swachh Bharat is not cleanliness on the floor. It is Swachhata in the mind, in the heart, in the soul of Indians. Indians must be seen as pure souls. Here is a man attempting it. Here is some steps being taken. These steps must be aggressively further pursued. According to me, many more steps will have to be taken. And for the next 10 years, sustained work against these kind of people, sustained kind of efforts in that direction will have to be made by the political parties, will have to be made by individuals, by teachers, by students, by community members, religious leaders, and we all need to be dedicated to this particular cause. And that is the price that we will have to pay for the freedom of this nation. The second freedom, after 1947, if freedom has to come, it was 2016. 60, 70 years later, we get a new freedom. The freedom to be free of pettiness, free of smallness, freedom to be good souls and good human beings, contributory human beings, not the one who is taking but always giving, the creator, not the consumer. That's the kind of country that we need to build, and we can't keep asking, let the politician do it, let the others do it. I am saying, in the last many months and years, I have not paid a traffic police fellow. If I get caught in Uncle's Kitchen in Malad West and he is telling me to give my license, I said, I won't give you the license, you tear the pauti. He said, no, pauti nahi, you will have to come to the police station. And I said, okay, I'm ready to come to the police station. And he takes me to Warsaw police station, which is very 5 kilometers from there. I pay 100 rupees out there and I come back and pick up my car. I am ready to take that pain, and I'm not ready to take the shortcut of paying $100 and moving on. Since we are busy people in the city of Mumbai, Pune, Thane, Vashi and all over the country, we want the easy route out, but we still want corruption to be out, but we are not ready to pay the price. So here is a time and here is a leader who is taking us through that particular period and giving us the leadership. Please follow him if you can't be a leader. A leader is someone you choose to follow to a place where you wouldn't go by yourself. I would not have gone there myself. Narendra Modi is taking me, I'm ready to follow him. So let us all follow this great leader. As long as he is great, as long as he is committed, as long as thoughts, words and deeds are inspiring and it touches the soul and the heart of us, we believe that we should contribute to the whole thing. And anybody who is speaking about corruption, say, you shut up, I am not going to pay, and take the pain. And all these demonetization, all this bullshit that is happening in this country can be tackled by we Indians. We won't be on the streets or something like that. So we will have to go 3 steps behind to go 10 steps forward with great amount of speed. That's what is my take on monetization.
That's very well crafted thoughts and sentiments. So One of my snippets of learning from your Change Multiplier CD said that any kind of change, any kind of transformation leads to a lot of emotions, stress, anxiety, restlessness, fear highlighting amongst all of these. How would you define fear, especially in this state of transformational journey?
See, fear, according to Zig Ziglar, FEAR is nothing but false evidence appearing real. FEAR. F is for false, evidence appearing real. Suppose you're a pilot of a plane, and you and two of the co-pilots, load yourself into an aircraft, and I come from behind and I have this mobile in my hand and I cover it with a handkerchief, and I keep this handkerchief covered mobile on your head in the cockpit. And I said, I've got a bomb. Take me to Lahore. And we are in Bombay and I'm saying, take me to Lahore. 99.99% of the chance is that you will believe that this is a bomb and you will take me to Lahore. It's false. False evidence appearing real. The evidence given to you was false, but it appeared real. Similarly, we have given a lot of stories to us that I can't climb the Everest. There is no evidence to prove that you can't climb. That I can't cut my weight in about by 10 kilos in 6 months. There's no evidence to prove that you can't do it. So fear is nothing but a self-created set of thought processes, never from outside, always from inside. A set thought processes to keep us in the safe zone always. Now the challenge of life is that nobody who has been in a safe zone has ever succeeded. And therefore you got to be in a constant state of being in no safe zone. Which means that everything that you're afraid of, one by one start doing it. As you start doing one by one thing that you were afraid of talking to a boy, then you went and spoke to 5 boys, that fear has been crossed. You were afraid of falling in love, you fell in love. You were afraid of falling in love and falling out of the same love, you experimented that. You were afraid of marriage, you got married, you got divorced, you got that experiment. You were afraid of many things. So fear has many doors. Some are plastic doors, some are wooden doors, some are steel doors, some are iron doors. Now one after the other, you need to do things that you've never done before. Fear is all about having not done something that somebody is asking you to do or your mind is provoking you to do. So anything that you have done, like somebody who's worked till 5 o'clock in the evening is being asked to work till 5 o'clock next day morning. So one is afraid, what will happen to my wife, what will happen to my children, what will happen to my husband, how will I explain it. So people are afraid of small things, forget about doing bigger things. We are not asking people to climb the moon or go to the moon and climb the Everest. People are unable to even give their even normal life. And that is why fear has become a part of our psyche. Anything that is beyond comprehension, anything that you do not have knowledge, anything that you need to use extra physical, mental and emotional pain is an outcome because of fear. Fear, I have this beautiful CD called Fear Multiplier, and so the best way is to allow the fear, be in the fear. It's like, fear is like fever. When it is there, it's there. One is that you don't have fever and one is you have fever. One is that you don't have fear and then is you have fear. So fear is like fever. It will be there. You pop into crossings, it will go away. So when you take an action, fear will go away. So multiple actions on all the things that you are afraid of will take away the fear. And problem with people is that their life is so much status quo, that everything that happens in their life is so much predictable, that everything that they are doing is so much within the radius of everything that they have done in the last 10 days, 15 days, 1 year, 2 years has been the same. And because it is the same, the world around you is changing all the time. And the world around you is changing all the time, creating this kind of thought process that you now need to change, you now need to change. But because you are wanting to be in the status quo, you don't want to go into the unknown. And if you don't go into the unknown and be in the unknown, The problem with people in the status quo is they want guarantee for everything. That if I take this step, कुछ लफड़ा तो नहीं होगा, कुछ problem तो नहीं होगा. If I climb the mountains, मेरे हाथ पैर मतलब है ना, because of frost bite or some bite or something, ये पिघल तो नहीं जाएंगे. People are afraid. People are not indulging in things that they have never done before. And as you keep on indulging every time, and this every time should be once in 24 hours, you should do something that you've never done before. If you can become like that, you are breaking these layers of doors and doors of fear that is inside you. The fear is never outside, it's always inside. And inside because of our thoughts, words and deeds. So, all your thoughts should be fearless, all your words should be fearless, all your actions should be fearless. Now, the moment you think, speak and act in a fearless manner, fear starts getting afraid of you, and fear becomes subordinate to you. And that's how you conquer fear. Now, there are books on that. You can listen to the CD called Fear Multiplier, where I've given all the things that you need to be doing, and don't label anything as fear. The problem is, मेरे को ना पहाड़ पे चढ़ने को डर लगता है. Why did you say that? The statement itself is negative. It is going to create fear in you. So listen to this fear multiplier. Probably you will get a whole lot of answers to fear as a concept. I have spoken about it for 4 hours. So anybody who is interested in knowing about fear should see my fear multiplier.
Thank you, sir. So we have got questions from our entrepreneurs from various sectors. I would not really focus on a specific sector. We'll keep it generic so our entrepreneurs get benefited out of it. A flavor of all the questions highlights towards the black and white, the cash transactions. So we have customers, the entrepreneurs are saying we have customers, they've stopped buying due to limited cash money and don't want to part with white money as they want to use it for growth purposes. So how do the entrepreneurs get sales in this situation?
You see, in any given time when there is an uncertain time, and right now uncertain times are going on. Uncertain times are nothing but where it's a state of affairs where you any period where you have a certain set of handicap, paranoia and things like that is known as an uncertain time. Now the first and the foremost thing is you always knew that you had to do white business. It is not that suddenly Modi is enlightening you. You always knew it, but you took the risk of doing it. And you said देखेंगे वक्त आने पे. अब वक्त आ गया और पहले कई बार वक्त आया, you bribed the income tax officers and तुमने वक्त को संभाल लिया. So you got into a false notion that you can handle anything, but actually this time you can't handle it. And I hope and I pray that you will never be in a position to handle it. And such should be our country, and such should be the systems that you cannot handle it. So the only way forward is to be honest businessman, number one. Number two, whenever there is uncertain time, people withdraw themselves from the market. People use what is available, but people don't create more. So if before this period, you used to do 2 crores of business every month, go out 24 hours in the field, triple your activity, and move from 2 crores every month to 6 crores every month. If you started your day at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, start your day at 6:30 in the morning. If you used to meet 2 people in a day, meet 6 people in a day. Multiply your effort and start connecting with new people, more people, unknown people, known people, and do more business. When you do more business, otherwise you would have done normal business, got 2 crores. Now I am saying do more business, do 5 crores to 6 crores per month, or whatever way in which you want to multiply. The moment you do that, your expenses practically are the same, but your income has really shot up. And this new one, you should do it in bill, you should do it in white, and you should create enough amount of white money that is there. However, this whole transformation in yourself from being a caterpillar to being a butterfly is not going to be a very easy, simple game. It's going to be taking a couple of months. So you are not going to get instant, solutions to your problem. the difficulty cost will take 2 to 3 years for you to set in. Now you may have to sell your home, you may have to sell your office, you may have to reduce your staff, you may have to sell your bangle, you may have to sell your wife's jewelry, you may have to do everything. You may lose everything during this period, but forget about your losses and focus on the opportunities that are there. Forget about your difficulties, focus on progressing. So this old situation has created a whole lot of new difficulties which were very unpredictable for you. You are not prepared yourself for that. So in uncertain times, a whole lot of new difficulties will come, but a whole lot of new things will have to be done. So what are the 10 new things? Instead of sitting and complaining, so they say creators don't complain and complainers don't create. What is your solutions to come out of this situation? Why are you waiting for other people to guide you, motivate you, direct you, cajole you, pep you? You have your own intelligence, your own wisdom. But the problem is that you want your old days back. You want the old 500 rupees back. You want the old 1000 rupees back because you have attached your identity with that. And now that that has been taken away, suddenly you ask yourself, who am I? Because your identity was attached to black money, your identity was attached to not making bill, your identity was attached to the cash that you accumulated. Now suddenly when that has been taken away, you have no existence. तुम्हारे को अपना अस्तित्व खलास हो गया, so you are asking yourself, who am I? Well, if you are such a powerful human being, and when everything was going well, you were on top of the world, you believed that it is your capacity and your intelligence and your knowledge and your wisdom that gave you all this money. You were so smart, you were so intelligent, and you made all this black money, and you did all this do number ka kaam, and you did everything that was wrong, and you thought such a bright fellow you are, such an intelligent fellow you are, such a khopdi you are, and such a wise person you are. If you were wise, suddenly your wisdom is gone. Suddenly you become unintelligent. My dear friends, बहती गंगा में आपने हाथ धोया था. By doing all those wrong things, you created a home, you created an empire. Suddenly, a part of that empire will be destroyed. But this destruction is necessary for the construction of an honest building. So, all that you may be losing right now will be the 4-storied building that you made out of wrong things. But all that you will be making in the future is the 40-storied building on honesty, which will wither all the earthquakes that Modi and his team will release in the market over the next many years. And how much also you want to probably get him out of the way. Some leader now will emerge, if not him, somebody else will emerge, and we need to take that particular route. So my advice to you is that be ready to undergo that labor pain. Be ready to undergo that sacrifice. Be ready to change your circumstances. Be ready for all the losses that happen. So I always say, forget about your losses and focus on the opportunities. Even in all these losses that you've got, you have a great amount of opportunity. But if you keep, वो जिद पकड़ेंगे, if you, English में क्या बोलते हैं जिद पकड़ने के लिए, if you persist that नहीं, मेरे पुराने दिन आने चाहिए, कसम भवानी की नहीं आने वाली और आना भी नहीं चाहिए. और आना नहीं चाहिए क्योंकि वो आपके लिए भी खराब है, वो हमारे लिए भी खराब है, वो हमारे देश के लिए भी खराब है, हम सभी के लिए वो खराब है. And that is very, very important. Forget about your difficulties, focus on progress. Because when you do new things, new difficulties will come. Because you're not used to it. You're not used to using 100 rupees and you didn't even know that 1 rupee coin and 10 rupee coin and 5 rupee coin existed. So all these difficulties that you're facing is because you're doing something new. You must experience these difficulties, because beyond these difficulties are the signals of progress. So forget about your difficulties, focus on progress. Forget about the future. Many people are afraid about their future. What is future? Future is nothing but an accumulation of all the today. So if you get up in the morning today at 5:30, take care of your health. If you read something very beautiful, if you do the right things, throughout the day you did something right and you did some progressive things, so today you have protected. Tomorrow you do all the right things and you're protected tomorrow. And day after you do all the right things from morning till late night, you're protected your day after. Today plus today plus today plus today plus today, you have a great future. So don't worry about your future, don't worry about your company, don't worry about your products, don't worry about your services, don't worry about my wife, my life, my EMI, my loan. Maybe that car that you have, you can't pay the EMI, let it go. Maybe a better car is waiting for you. So be ready to pay the price, Forget about all the incidents that have happened in your life. Focus on how you are responding to it. Like when this thing happened, I said, okay, fine, I don't do anything black, I have nothing to worry. You could have said, I do everything black, I have nothing to worry because I'm going to change from tonight. Are you willing to transform yourself from tonight? If you are willing to transform, then you will not ask this question, what should I do? Because you are very powerful. Your mind is very powerful. It can find solutions to the greatest of difficult situations and give you solutions to unsolved problems. But your mindset has to change. And that is very, very important, Forget about what is not there. During this period of turmoil and uncertainty, a lot of things that you had, the cash that you had will go, the home that you had will go, and there are many things, the employees that you may have may go because you are unable to pay salaries during this particular period and thing. But forget about what is not there. Focus on what is available. You have your wife, you have your hand and leg, everything intact. You have an intelligence intact. You have your sons and daughters intact. Your wife still recognizes you, your husband still recognizes you, you are perfectly okay, you have an office, you have a car, you have life, you have a beautiful future, you will stay in a great country. We are on an economic boom in the next about 25-30 years. By 2030, we will be having half of, China and us will be having half of the GDP of this whole world. By 2050, we will be the second largest economy in the world. What else? You are at the right place at the right time. We are a young country, but we need to have the right mindset, and therefore these kind of uncertainties are absolutely something that we should now get used to, and we should not be worried and afraid. Our future is bright, and you will make it bright. You are the custodian of your future. You have your moral responsibility to make your future bright. You are intelligent, you are wise, you have the capacity, God is with you. This nation is with you, the good people of this nation is with you. My wishes are with you, my blessings are with you. The greatness of all the yesteryear leaders and the wisdom of the greatest human beings who were available on this planet before us are all there. Be honest and don't be afraid of the future. And be ready for uncertain times, bigger and more nastier uncertain times. So what do I do with the black? Stop it. What do I with the white, which is so little? Multiplied. You have no other choice. You have no other alternative. Please do not even use your crooked mind to even attempt to create another way of black money, because in a digital world that we are now, and as digitization happens, every place that you will be doing any kind of dealing will be connected to multiple things. You will be raided before you reach home. You will be caught before you even think that you can cheat the system. Technology is more powerful than you. Human intelligence is now less. Artificial intelligence will take over. Machines have been now calibrated to catch you before you even think. So don't use your non-existent intelligence to beat the system. Be honest and face these difficulties and these challenges, and I'm sure everything will be alright in the next 3 to 4 years' time.
It's very well said, sir. I know we have very limited time today. I'm just quickly going to cover up a couple of questions. So our entrepreneurs want to know, what is your opinion on the long-term and short-term impact on various sectors due to this change? Largely, they want to know, programs like Make in India, which largely is for manufacturing sector, or agricultural sector, where you have labor class, which deals with cash transactions. Considering this move being taken, how would it impact in business world?
Every farmer, every laborer must be now brought into the banking system. You see, United States of America was ruled by thugs, robbers, conspirators, and mafia in the 1960s. You know, if you look at 1960s, the American system, banking system, was very, very weak. The whole country was on cash. And because wherever there is cash and wherever there is big denomination cash, greed, mafia, underworld, antisocial elements germinate and multiply. And then there is a collusion between the politicians and these elements. The country is ruined. So America was not known as a great country in 1960s. So in 1969, President Nixon, Richard Nixon, took the bold step of demonetization. He kept the $100 bills and the 500, the 1,000, the 5,000, the 10,000, the 1 lakh notes were all banned. And because of that, Americans got used to the banking system. It doesn't matter, therefore, the farmer is poor and the garib is there, and what happens to his livelihood. Some of them may die because of hunger. But that's the price this nation will have to pay for going to the next level. All people must be a part of the banking system. And as digitization takes place all over the place, may it be Paytm, may it be free charge, may it be InMobi, whatever you might call it, Reliance, Jio Money, or I don't know, all those things. Every human being on this planet called India must come into the digital economy, into the banking system. It is going to take a hell of a lot of efforts of education, enlightenment, and this is not going to be an easy task. It is going to take 4 to 5 years for this to happen. But it will happen, and we will have all to make it happen, and we should speak in favor of it, is what I personally feel. Now, the manufacturing sector need not be worried, because the principles of management of high quality, good service, lower cost, all are principles that you have to be using. Now, how can you bring better technology? How can you upgrade your people? How can you improve your service? How can you increase your speed? These are quantitative and qualitative questions that you have to use. And there are many Japanese technologies, TQM, 5S, total quality management, quality circles, and many things that you will have to do in the manufacturing sector, and introduce all kinds of systems and processes which are beyond individual calibrations, and you will be in a position to create a very competitive product in the market. So the whole, when the image of India as a non-corrupt country happens in the next 5 to 10 years, a large amount of countries all over the world which today do not come here for manufacturing because of not having ease of business, because of all these corrupt officials that are there, all of them will start coming into India, and they will all give us business. The best companies in the world will come here. We have the most youthful population with just about 26.5 years as a nation. We are the youngest population in the world. So the whole world will come here for manufacturing, and we should bring them here. How do we bring them here? By creating an environment of welcome, by creating an environment of cleanness. Cleanness not in our thoughts, words and deeds, in our actions on our streets, cleanness in our dealing, becoming more honest as a nation. Our happiness level, honesty level all should go up. So we need to now do this new freedom fighting. We are all now freedom fighters. And that's the price that we will have to pay. There is no other alternative. And just work hard and put that extra effort, and be in the company of inspiring people, be in the company of possibility thinkers. Don't be in the company and don't see news channels that are flashing all kinds of stupid, and be away from the stupid idiotic thing called WhatsApp, where one ass is sending to another ass the same bloody stories as if he wrote the whole thing. If each person was asked to write that whole thing that he is sending as a forward on his own using his intelligence, which in any case he doesn't have, This is forwarding and creating. Mind your own bloody business. Mind your own life. Mind your manufacturing. Mind your office. Leave this aside. Don't even read all those things. The government is there. It will inform you of whatever is happening. Once in a while you can go into the news and understand it. You don't have to be a part of this gossip community. You don't have to be a part of this whole community of people talking nonsense. People can't even, they become right thinkers before they can even think. People like me with so much amount of experience and knowledge about the whole thing are not speaking on this subject. But I am telling you, my dear friends, the time has come for us to mind our own business. I have never forwarded a single message in the last many years to anybody. No message I forward. All these stupid things that people send to each other are people who are just thinking that they should be heard. Become a leader, transform this world, lead it in transforming. You are doing the forwarding, you're doing nothing, you're a consumer, you're not a creator. You didn't even create that dialogue. You're just a consumer of that dialogue and a forwarder of that dialogue. You think you're intelligent because of that? The time has come, my dear friends, to question your thoughts and words and deeds, and to question the way in which you look at life. Help this nation to become powerful. See to it that no such political parties survive. See to it that no political leaders survive. See to it that no wrong people survive in this particular country. See to it that you do honest thing, and the max that you will lose is your life. And never be afraid of losing your life. Because once you are dead, you have nothing to worry. Why does Modi take all those steps? Because even if you kill him, he has nothing to lose. It is you and I who are going to lose. And someday, a Vishwarupi leader like him, a world leader, is required to create a Vishwarupi Vishwa nation. A nation of nations. A respected nation, a loved nation. A nation which is known for its intelligence, wisdom, commitment, hard work, practices, speed, urgency, commitment, loyalty. A nation where people are known as honest. A nation, we can create that. Together, we can make it happen. It just needs a mindset shift. And you can do it.
So last question, what is your take on this move? Is it gutsy, well planned? Our entrepreneurs want to know a tip from you to stay comfortable in this painful labor pain phase.
There is not going to be any comfort, and there is going to be labor pain. And it is going to be increasing by the time that you become 4 months pregnant, 5 months pregnant, 6 months. It's going to become more and more painful. But this pain is the price that you have to pay for the beautiful creation that you're creating, and that's a great nation. So if you repeat your question.
If this move, your take on this move, is it gutsy, well planned? Does it motivate entrepreneurs like you? So or
It's a very gutsy decision. It need not have been well planned, because I think so. This whole thing must have been happening for the last 6 to 8 months. Few people must have been, and the fact that it remains secret among these few people is the salute that we have to give to this nation. And to the people who kept it to their hearts and their souls, and they did not leak it. And such a gutsy decision, 8 o'clock at night on the 14th of November, or 8th of November, sorry, such a gutsy decision should not have been planned well, cannot be planned well, and many up and down measures will be taken where the government will go to and fro and backward and forward, and it will create confusion and chaos, and there will be anarchy, and there will be challenges that are there. But this is something that could not have been planned better than it is planned as of now. The planning has to be done on the run. It has to be done on the move. It's like changing the wheels of your car while you're driving. So you just tilt the car on one side, send your cousin or somebody on the other side and say that usko nikalo, and while two are moving and one is rolling on its own and the other one is being replaced. It's going to be a roller coaster ride. Enjoy the ride. It's inevitable. Enjoy this pain. because beyond this pain is a gain, and a gain of a lifetime, a gain of creating a nation, a powerful, beautiful, wonderful and great nation, a nation that we will be proud of. Today we are not proud of our nation because it's a corrupt country. Tomorrow we will be proud of. So look down upon all the people who are staying in your building, those government officials. Some are there in my own building. They take the goose all the time. And they create that circumstance. So look down upon them, talk to them, inspire them, transform them. It's going to be, now all those people who are corrupt are going to find it extremely difficult because their identity was associated to doing this kind of thing. They don't know how to live a life with the limited income that they would have got as a government official, which was what they came in. They were not corrupt when they came. The system made it. We are trying to change the system. They themselves must speak against it. If they were taking black money, if they were taking money for permission to be given, they should from tomorrow morning start clearing the papers, and a new energy will be created in each one of them. I wish you all the very best to the corrupt to transform. I wish you all to the others who made them corrupt. And I wish you all those who stood ground and never went for corrupt practices. None of us are clean, दूध के धुले हुए हैं, but here is an opportunity for us to transform. Here is an opportunity for us to move from being a caterpillar to being a butterfly. This whole transition, this whole transgression, this whole transformation would not have been less painful. Let me assure you the pain is going to increase. And let me assure you we should not allow the politicians to derail this. These Mamata Banerjees and these Arvind Kejriwals and all these fellows who are riding on this particular thing just to create brownie points must be made to be, must be put aside, must be ignored. When they come, there should not be a single photographer. The press should also play its role by ensuring that they don't cover. If a Kejriwal or a Mamata is going to some kind of a place, don't cover it. And the day you don't cover them, they won't go. Because without the media, they cannot be made this kind of big people. So the time has come for us to look at all these things in the new perspective. This is the new India. It is the renaissance of India. It is the emergence of India as the Sone ki Chidiya. And it is the coming back of India as the most powerful nation in the world. And we Indians owe it to this country. We've enjoyed the freedom that we've got. We are not a part of dictatorial environment. The freedom which we have misused liberally must be now safeguarded by us who degraded it. It is something that our founding fathers gave it to us, a democratic country. And in a democratic country to take such steps, where you have dime a dozen party, local political parties, state level political party, this is not only gutsy. Gutsy is an understatement. It requires balls of steel. It requires something. It requires a conscience which is pure, which is uncorrupted. And that conscience probably the Prime Minister of our country, Narendra Modi, has. And I hope and I trust and I believe that he continues to take such measures, quite contrary to his own party workers, quite contrary to this whole thing. But we as a nation must support him. We as a nation should inspire him. We as a nation should rally with him for this transformation. In this whole bargain, we will enjoy the beauty of purity, sincerity, and we will create a better nation for our children. I have a dream, that 20 years from now, in 2036, our children will grow up to a nation where our people in the country will be judged by the strength of their character and the commitment and the hard work. The character of this country has to change, and you and I have a moral responsibility to make it happen. I am sure you will all do it. This is Santosh Nair, the Chairman of Smart Training and Consultancy Services, saying goodbye and wishing you all the very best in the transformation of India. Let's do it together. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.